Good day, this is Greg Berg with the Stearns County Soil and Water Conservation District giving you the weekly conservation update. First thing I wanted to make you aware of, if you haven't heard of it, is the Central Minnesota Water Education Alliance. And the Central Minnesota Water Education Alliance, otherwise known as CMWEA, is a coalition of central Minnesota cities, counties, and other organizations like lake associations and such that provide educational outreach to promote water quality stewardship. So anybody can be actively involved in this program to better water quality and water quality initiatives in the area. One thing that they have going on that they've just rolled out is the Pledge and Play for Clean Water. And you take the pledge and download the Clean Water Bingo, and you can play to keep our water clean, and you could win some great prizes like an iPad, a rain barrel, movie tickets, and more. So you can go to the Central Minnesota Water Education Alliance website, H2UMN, and you can go and take the pledge and play bingo. Now, a few of the things that they have up there as Water Quality 101 things to keep in mind is, what is a watershed? So if you're not familiar, a watershed is an area of land that drains to a particular water body. In central Minnesota, our major watershed is the Mississippi River, and that basin drains to the Gulf of Mexico, all the way down by NOLA, New Orleans. At a smaller scale, watersheds can be thought of as a neighborhood that drains to a backyard pond near you or ultimately to the Mississippi River. So as an example in our area, when it rains or the snow melts, the water soaks into the ground, enters a storm drain or a pipe and runs over land, and ultimately the water reaches the Mississippi River in our area. So you might think, where is my watershed, or what watershed am I in? You can go to the Minnesota Pollution Control Agency, or PCA, website, and you can look up exactly where your watershed is. Or the other way to learn where your stormwater goes is to contact your local government office, like county office, city office, the Soil and Water Conservation District office where I work. We can assist you with that. So when it rains, we have to deal with something called stormwater. So towns and cities developed roads, parking lots, homes, driveways, and that disrupted the natural flow of water. So when it rains on those hard surfaces, it's not able to soak into the ground, and it becomes stormwater runoff. And the runoff flows into our streets, storm drains, travels through a network of pipes to the nearest water body. And this network of drainage is called a stormwater system. And there is a difference between a stormwater system and a sanitary sewer system. So stormwater systems are separate, and they're not part of the sanitary sewer system. And it's a very important concept to understand because stormwater inlets are open and come off streets and other areas, and we don't want to be dumping anything like sanitary sewer or other chemicals or runoff into those areas if we can prevent it. So how does stormwater affect water quality? Stormwater systems have pollutants such as automotive fluids, fertilizers, pesticides, bacteria, sediments, litter, pest waste, anything, and they're efficient at transporting from parking lots, roads, and driveways to the nearest water body. So you have to think of it as a direct connection to that water body, whether it's a pond, maybe even into the groundwater, into the nearest lake, anything you might want to keep that out of, we've got to be careful of. So how do you determine what the condition of your local water is? You can go to the state, local municipalities, research institutions, and you can also look this up on the MPCA website, PCA, State of Minnesota, and there are what's called impaired waters, or waters that have a total maximum daily load, and you can determine whether or not the waters in your area or waters that you recreate on are impaired. Now again, the Central Minnesota Water Education Alliance, CMWEA, is conducting its outreach pledge and play. You can play that clean water bingo, and that group consists of organizations of cities, counties, and other lake associations and such that do education, outreach, and promote water quality stewardship. The next thing I wanted to talk to you about with the time of year is the Minnesota Runoff Risk Advisory forecast system. This is a tool that's designed for farmers and commercial applicators that they can determine the best time of year to apply manure. So with precipitation, snow melt, other conditions, this can cause recently applied manure to move off the target. That movement can decrease productivity, which is an important part, and increase the risk of impairing local bodies of water. So this is another way of impairing a body of water like we talked about before, and we're trying to reduce that risk but use that manure and application so that it betters our crops in the future. So Minnesota Department of Ag has developed this runoff risk advisory forecast system. You can use it for your area based on the conditions currently, and you can go to the MDA website and look that up and get that information so that you can try to prevent runoff and loss of that manure and use it for what it is beneficial for on that crop field. This is Greg Berg, again, with the Stearns County Soil and Water Conservation District, and I want you to have a great day, and that is the weekly conservation update.